Welcome to this video lecture of water quality parameter. This video lecture is third in the series. In previous two video lectures, we had discussed about physical water quality parameter and chemical water quality parameter. In this video lecture, we will discuss about biological water quality parameter. World Health Organization has set the guidelines for drinking water, quality of which the primary purpose is the protection of public health. Water is essential to sustain life, and a satisfactory, that is, adequate, safe, and accessible supply must be available to all. Improving access to safe drinking water can result in tangible benefits to the health. The great majority of evident water-related problems are the result of microbial, that is, bacteriological, viral, protozoan, or other biological contamination. Nevertheless, an appreciable number of serious health problems may occur as a result of the biological contamination of drinking water. Drinking water should not include microorganisms that are known to be pathogenic. It should also not contain bacteria that would indicate excremental pollution, the primary indicator of which are coliform bacteria that are present in the feces of warm-blooded organisms. Parasitic protozoa and helminths are also indicator of water quality. Species of protozoa can be introduced into water supply through human or animal fecal contamination. Coliforms are not appropriate direct indicator because of the greater resistance of these protozoans to inactivation by disinfection. A single mature larva or fertilized egg of parasitic roundworms and flatworms can cause infection when transmitted to the human body through that drinking water. Biological parameters are important factors that determine quality of drinking water. It is more important than physical and chemical parameters in terms of the direct effect on human health. In this video lecture, we will discuss about bacteria, virus, protozoans, helminths, worms, all those microorganisms which impact to our body, to human body or to the lowest form of the life. Now first I will discuss about bacteria. This word bacteria, it is a Greek word which means that a thing which has a shape like rod or staff. Actually, this name has been given according to the shape characteristic. Actually, they are single cell microorganism. Usually, they are colorless and are lowest form of the life. They are capable of synthesizing the protoplasm from surrounding environment. The group known to wastewater field are fecal coliforms and group of bacteria associated with human excreta. Now they can be classified according to the shape, their living, the availability of oxygen, availability of temperature, and from the nutrition they are taking. Now first classification, I will talk about their shape. Now according to their shape, the bacteria can be classified as if the shape is rod-like shape, then it is known as bacilli. If the shape is spherical, that is sphere-like shape, then the bacteria is known as cocci. If the shape is spiral, then the bacteria is known as spirillum. If the shape is like curved like shape, then it is known as vibrio. Now, from their shape, different name has been given to them. In the same way, according to their living. Now, according to their living, bacteria can be classified as parasitic bacteria and saprophytic bacteria. Now, if I will talk about parasitic bacteria, then those bacteria which normally live off on or any living organism which is known as a host, since they require a food supply already prepared, or for you can say which is there in the host, so that they can consume them for their living, and they never develop outside the body of a host. These bacteria are known as parasitic bacteria. Generally, they originate in the intestinal tract of human beings and animals also, and they reach the sewage by means of the body discharge. Actually, that is why they are very important in the case of wastewater. Certain type of this bacteria, during their growth within the body of the host, they produce toxin, or you can say poisonous compound, which may cause disease to the host, and from the host it can reach to the other human or to any other water body. The second type of bacteria, according to the living, is saprophytic bacteria. Now these bacteria which feed on dead organic matter, thus they decompose organic waste substance which consist of both organic or inorganic solids. In the absence of bacterial life, decomposition will never take place. Now, if I will talk about according to the availability of oxygen, then in broad classification we can say that according to availability of oxygen, bacteria can be classified as aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. Actually, bacteria require oxygen for their respiration. Now, certain type of bacteria use oxygen which is dissolved in the water, which is known as dissolved oxygen. So those organisms are known as aerobic bacteria, and the process of degradation are known as aerobic decomposition, or sometimes we say it oxidation, or you can say decay. The another type, which is we can say anaerobic bacteria, actually they cannot exist in presence of dissolved oxygen, but they require oxygen for their respiration. That is why they must obtain their required supply from the oxygen content of organic and some inorganic solid which is available for decomposition. They are anaerobic bacteria, and the process is known as anaerobic decomposition, or you can say putrefaction. Now, certain you had understand the aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria, but here it is a special case that certain aerobic bacteria, they adjust themselves to live and function in the absence of oxygen, and they are termed as facultative aerobic bacteria. Whereas some anaerobic type bacteria, they accustom adjust themselves to live in presence of oxygen, and they are termed as facultative anaerobic bacteria. Now, the fourth one classification according to the temperature in which bacteria is living. Now, bacteria require favorable temperature to perform the larger proportion of saprophytic bacteria in work. If they are working best at the temperature of 20 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade, those bacteria are known as mesophilic type. If the bacteria which live at higher temperature range of 55 degrees centigrade to 60 degrees centigrade, especially in sewage and in sludge solid, these bacteria are present. They are known as thermophilic type. Few type of bacteria, they find their optimum condition at the temperature range of 0 degrees centigrade to 5 degrees centigrade. Those bacteria are known as psychrophilic type. Now, if we classify the bacteria according to the nutrition, then we can say that all the living organism, or you can say all the life form, require an energy source, such as human take their energy source from the food they eat. In the same way, bacteria also require nutrition to live, and they found the energy source from the carbon or some other sources. So if the bacteria is taking the energy from sunlight, then those type of bacteria are known as phototrophy. If the bacteria is taking the energy source from oxidation of reduced organic matter, then they are known as heterotrophy. If the bacteria is taking the energy from inorganic matter only, then it is known as autotrophy. If we talk about the source of bacteria in water and wastewater, we can say that human being and other animal discharge large number of intestinal bacteria into stool and urine. Therefore, bacteria appears in drinking water when water source is contaminated with that excreta or the stool. Some intestinal bacteria, which are normal flora of intestine and are not pathogenic, while other bacteria, they cause serious disease when they are present in the drinking water. Some pathogenic bacteria includes Salmonella, Shigella, Vibrio cholera, Yersinia, Enterocolitica. These bacteria are only present in drinking water. If source of water is contaminated with feces, drinking water has to be regularly checked to detect these intestinal pathogens. However, all intestinal pathogens are difficult to cultivate and identify in the routine examination. Therefore, presence of pathogenic bacteria is indirectly checked by detecting intestinal normal flora. Such organisms which are routinely checked for the quality of water is known as indicator organism for fecal contamination. Some indicator organisms are fecal coliforms, that is E. coli, and fecal streptococci, that is Enterococcus and Clostridium perfringens. The next microorganism which is having due importance is virus. Actually, what is virus? They are obligate parasite which require a host to live. Symptoms associated with waterborne disease, or you can say waterborne viral infection, is disorder of the nervous system rather than gastrointestinal infection. One of the major viral pathogens are known to cause hepatitis. It can be A, B, C, D, E. But the main problem is viruses can only be seen by electron microscope because they are very small in the size. And the standard disinfection practices are known to kill viruses. But confirmation of viral disinfection is a very big problem. The uncertainty is a cause of concern for land application of treated wastewater. If we discuss about the virological aspect of water pollution, so drinking water should always be free from viruses. Sometimes viruses from intestinal tract of infected person get access to water along with the feces. That is why the concern for virus is very important and due respect has to be given to them. The next one is protozoa. They are the lowest form of animal life. They are unicellular organism, more complex in their functional activity than bacteria or viruses. They are complex, self-contained organism that can be free-living or parasitic, pathogenic or non-pathogenic, microscopic or macroscopic, highly adaptable. Protozoa are widely available in natural water. I agree that all of them are not pathogenic, but most of them are pathogenic. Their infection cause gastrointestinal disorder of milder order than bacterial infection, but they create very big problem. The next one is helminth. Now, helminths, they are parasitic worms which require one or more intermediate host in their life cycle. Gyna worms erupt from the blisters on the skin. They are health hazard to the human who come in direct contact with the untreated sewage. It means that the person who is doing his work in the untreated sewage. Due to this, malaria, filaria, yellow fever, all those diseases occurs. Now we can discuss about algae. Growth of algae in water affect the quality of water in various ways. Algae give characteristic color, odor, taste, and to the water. Also, algae prevent the penetration of light to the bottom of water system, which affect the photosynthetic organism. So many algae are there who produce toxic compound. For example, microcytis, it produces hypertoxin. Similarly, Anabaena and Nostoc produces neurotoxins. Therefore, drinking water should be free from any type of. In this series, we can also discuss about the worms, which have got an elongated body and they move with an undulating motion. These simple animals are found in sewage. Actually, environmental advocates express their desire to return water bodies to pristine, or you can say pre-industrial conditions. Now, current environmental law, it focus of the designation of uses and therefore allow for some water contamination as long as the particular type of contamination is not harmful to the intended, or you can say to the designated use. Given the landscape changes in the watersheds of many freshwater bodies, returning to pristine condition would be now a significant challenge. In this case, environmental scientists focus on achieving goals for maintaining population of endangered species and protecting human health. Thank you for your patience hearing and hope this video lecture will help you to understand the microorganisms which are pathogenic or non-pathogenic type. Thank you.